Okay, where were we?
In a shell.
Going in circles.
Edmont.
Oh, I know I made the Junji Ito joke, but I wasn't expecting it to be literal.
Yeah, stop saying things.
Edmont,
Yes.
you continue to hear your friends' voices as you're walking out of the cage, growing increasingly angry and desperate, saying things like, "It was tricked. It says I can't have you. It says that I could. You must give me another. You must." And you're hearing this in the voices of your companions on the outside of the cave. And the more you walk, the more increasingly desperate they seem to be.
God, I'm hearing something. Something. I don't know. I doubt it's our family.
What are you hearing?
I'm hearing and I'll explain. I'm hearing the voices of our family, but they're saying things that don't make sense.
I traded my prize for a better one. I let it go. You must give me another. You must complete the trade. Let me have him.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I'm
Edmont.
trying.
The words turn to screams. They become incoherent. Anger, anguish, very desperate. And the screams start to recede. And they start to sound like they're coming from behind you rather than ahead of you. And a few moments later, you see daylight ahead of you and off to the left as the three of you come up on the entrance of the cave at last.
Do we see
You're out
them
of the cave.
coming out?
Yeah.
Thank God you guys made it. What the hell is in there?
I don't
Nobody
know.
go back in there.
I'm not.
Don't know.
I don't know, and nor do I have any pressing desire to find out. Let's get the hell out of here.
Where's Fleetguard?
So, Brick, what is the... Does it look like it's made of stone or shell, or like what does it look like the cave is made of?
Stone. Very, very smooth stone.
Go. I'm going to.
Where's Fleetguard?
Leadguard wasn't here. It was
Oh, Wheatguard and Orson went back.
It was
to
Lahir.
Okay. Oh, here, sorry.
Whatever powers were at B are in effect here. We're twisting your voices to say terrifying things that I'd really rather not recount right now.
And let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Let's get along the road and give this place a wide berth.
Do we want to try and close the entrance to this cave before we leave?
No, the next
No.
time Edmont says, "Let's not go into place." Let's not go into place.
Do I still sense it as magical from out here?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Are we still magical?
No. No longer.
Okay.
All right.
Let's head back to camp, grab them, and take the road the other dude took.
I think we're free. I think it's better to just let whatever's going on there.
Yeah, we can't do anything about it.
He could just scream into the void.
It might have been whatever power was that was demanding the body of our cousin.
Megillah. I feel like we haven't heard the
Please
last.
stop saying the name.
Yeah.
Okay, and once we're back at camp, actually, okay, I'll wait until we've actually made some progress on the road before I tell anyone.
Yeah, you get underway.
Okay. Once we have passed, maybe once we're a mile or so past that, I will say that I heard that voice the first time we were coming out. It basically said I could trade. It was Lahire who was there, Lahire for my life, and I said you could have my life, and then you guys came in and saved me. So that's probably a terrible curse.
And in the morning, as you're traversing the road, because at some point your party passes by the hill once again, you guys notice that Lahir turns to look at it, and his stride slows until he's urged forward by someone else in the party.
That hole was made for him.
We drag you forward.
Brother, under no circumstances are you to sacrifice yourselves for the good of everyone else.
That's a decision to be made on an individual basis.
I love you, and if you had, I'm pretty sure you would have done the same for me in that situation, and I would have respected that choice.
He did. He did. Ekon, he did. And then my sister went in there as well. So you got to realize, Ekon, that when you do that, we're going to come after you. So you're not just putting your life on the line, you're putting ours as well. And then I'm going to pat him on the cheek and walk away.
All right, let's roll some survival checks.
Who's got the worst survival among these three?
Who's the worst?
Yeah.
+2 for...
I think it's Layer, but I'll double check.
Are we gonna let Denny go hunting?
That was the plan.
Okay.
Yeah, but he can go on his own, and we can keep a familiar to watch him. I'll send Lux. And I'll tell him Lux is going to be between you and camp, so if you get lost, just follow him back.
And also tell that Lux is not food.
Yeah,
Lux
Layer
is
has
not-
the worst check of the three of them.
Well, here can roll at advantage then, because I'm using enhanced ability.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a 22 from our good buddy Orson. Our good brother Orson, because he is, I think, he actually is the brother of...
Yeah,
Yeah, he's our brother. He's our little brother.
I just realized that most of the Veritas children are actually here. Like,
Yeah.
like most of it's
Most
like
of Nigel's kids.
Yeah, most of Nigel's kids are actually here. Like it's Ruby and like the little brother with the twisted leg. I think.
Yeah, actually, I want to talk about that because it seems to me that if Ruby did not plan this, this could not possibly have worked out better for her.
I think you've always described Ruby a little bit more malice than she actually has. She's
Okay,
honestly
so-
a compassionate person.
Okay, so what the two possibilities are that Ruby accidentally became the new heir of House Veritas, and all of the people that she hated disappeared in a way that could never be traced back to anyone, and we will never be found. Or she did what she said she was going to do and get rid of us all.
And
You
Ekon
give
is
me
just
too much credit.
laughing, like, your sister never hated you. She was frustrated with you.
How did Orson do on his survival check?
He got a 22.
22. Go D4 plus 1.
That's a 5.
5. So 7 people are eating today. And all of the hunters essentially agree. When they come back, they have very little to show for their efforts. Better than some days, but Denny was far more of a hindrance than a help to them. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's scared off game they otherwise should have caught.
We told Denny not to go with you. Did he tag along?
No, he went hunting with them. Nobody's going off by themselves. That's
Stupid,
obviously
yeah.
that's obviously a bad idea.
Okay.
I thought Ekon explicitly told Denny not to go with a group.
Like it.
Well, he isn't beholden to listen to Ekon. But yeah, nobody. I'm assuming nobody's going off by themselves to do much of anything, especially not hunt.
Buddy system for bathroom breaks.
Denny, you're fired. You're not a hunter anymore.
And it erupts into an argument once again. Who's eating?
Who has 2 levels of exhaustion today?
I
Nobody.
don't think anyone.
All right. How many people have 1 level of exhaustion?
Lots.
Ugh.
Denny insists on eating because he went out hunting.
That's why
You
he wanted to
didn't
go.
catch anything.
You didn't catch anything. You don't eat.
And he points out that on the days Orson didn't catch anything, he did eat. There were
Yeah,
days
that's
Leekar
Orson
didn't catch
goes
anything.
out the next day and gets something.
Denny insists this is unfair treatment just because
Because he tried to kill one of us?
Denny, do you want to be tied up again?
he doesn't bring that up. And he gets support from Jayla and Abernathy, the two of them. Abernathy agrees that it's fair. It's true the other hunters have some days not brought back food, and we've allowed them to eat as well. Perhaps with a full belly, Denny will be able to perform better tomorrow.
No.
I don't care if Denny eats, but I don't think it's going to help anyone for him to hunt anymore.
So who's eating?
So
How many days has it been since Denny ate?
He has one level of
Yeah,
exhaustion.
just one level of exhaustion.
Is he still acting sick?
Yes, but it doesn't seem to be worsening. I have for some reason deleted his days since rest. But he has one level of exhaustion. I think it's been 3 days.
That sounds about right. Probably since before Denny's big day.
Big adventure.
Yeah, because I rolled him at a 14 last time.
I say let him eat.
Yeah, let's let him eat once.
Let's
Just this once.
Yeah.
And the other hunters as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to get rid of my exhaustion.
There's 3 left after that.
3 left.
I mean, I've got a decent con save, and I'm still pretty well off for spells, so I can skip a day.
Okay.
I'll skip a day.
I'll skip a day.
Evie can skip.
Victor is going to eat them.
Okay. And
So 2 left. Tenny, I think. I have a feeling that if I don't... I'm feeling not really a choice at this point. It's entirely on Evie.
She didn't eat yesterday.
I think she should eat today. She's a little kid.
All right, one more. Lugrin, Donique, Abernathy, Christen, and Pladden all have a level of exhaustion.
Probably Pladden, because he usually is in charge more away.
All right. So, Evie, it's now been 6 days since you've had anything to eat.
Oh, did I have a level of exhaustion? I can't remember if I ate or not.
You do have one.
Okay.
All right, let me update my sheet here.
Wonder if these trees are edible. They're starting to look very tasty.
Christen hasn't eaten in 3 days.
I mean, you can go 2 weeks without eating. Ha.
Okay, so Evie's about halfway through that at this point.
Evie, you're looking at a DC 20 now.
Someone in this group has a decanter of endless water, right?
Yeah, we have the
Yes, we
yeah.
have all the water we can drink.
Okay, so I guess I have to roll a 19 or better. No. I got a 19.
So pass again.
No, I got a 19 with I got a 19 total, so I almost got it. But
Oh, okay. So that's a fail.
now I have 2 levels.
Okay.
That's bad.
Ekon and Christen are at 3 days, so you're at a DC 14.
That's a fail.
And Christen passes. A couple people at 2 days, but they both pass. Jeannie, Edmont, you're both at DC 10.
Ass.
Pass.
Pass?
Pass.
Okay. And Evie and Ekon are at 2 levels, so you're moving at half speed.
Evie won't say anything, and she'll just push herself.
And which hexes would you like to scout with your familiars?
Mine's keeping an eye on Denny all morning.
Okay.
I could send mind or just that direction.
Have it make a perception check.
I have an owl, and I have to see what the stat block for an ally, so give me 1 sec.
They have advantage on hearing and sight.
Okie dokie. Wisdom checks, but it is +3. Gotcha. That's a 1.
A 1?
That's 18. 18. He has advantage on wisdom checks, perception checks that rely on hearing or sight.
Okay.
So that's an 18.
18. Sending your familiar out up over the woods. Here and there, maybe a half day, maybe a little less than that, maybe even 3 or 4 hours march from the road to the north in the woods. Your familiar catches sight, glimpses, now and then, a couple times over the course of the day, of frog people, the likes of which you have met before. Who else is
Setting up a trap for us ahead?
So which can I scout that hex, or is that too far?
That's fine. So you send your familiar to scout out along the road ahead, and it catches a glimpse of a garishly colored wagon being drawn by an ox. Doesn't get a look at the rider, and can't see what the wagon is carrying. It's covered. But garishly painted, moving along the road in the same direction that you're traveling, just about a full day ahead of you.
Even if it's bandits, I'd welcome them at this point.
It seems to be a lone driver, unless there's multiple people in the wagon. And who else is scouting?
Guess that's me. I guess I'll peek off in this direction.
The woods get more dense down to the south, but nothing else of note.
So, question: what were the frog people doing? Did it look like they were laying an ambush, or
It's difficult to
just
tell. Your familiar saw glimpses of them here and there throughout the day, amongst the trees and the foliage.
but not along the road?
Not along the road, but not far from it either. Less than like half a day's travel from the road.
I guess we stay on guard then as we.
We need to beef up our watches tonight.
Yeah. Hey, Evie, you want to push on to catch up with that wagon? I'm for it.
Evie says she's fine. It's
Yeah.
It's pretty apparent she's not actually fine.
Yes, and I'm also not actually fine, but I think if the two of us agree to it, we'll try and move a full day's worth, even though we were both at 2 levels.
So you're going to push everybody?
Yeah, it's mostly me and Evie and I are the ones who have 2 levels of exhaustion.
All right, I need Constitution saving throws from each of you. Ekon, yours is going to be at 16. Evie, yours is going to be at 22.
I don't think I could make a 22. My Constitution save bonus is 1.
I closed my character sheet. I might make that 14.
14?
Yeah, so pass. Fail.
Evie got a 15.
So both fail.
She cannot make a 22.
So you guys keep pace, but it takes an enormous toll on you, and you each gain a 3rd level of exhaustion.
So what is that penalty?
Disadvantage on attack throws and saving throws.
That makes me pretty much useless.
Ironically, I'm still completely good to blow things up. Goddamn magic.
Oh yeah, but I'm useless.
You're useless.
I can't even
Also,
get a sneak attack.
Well, the other thing is, we both will have disadvantage on future saving throws, so we really need to eat.
Yeah.
And bear with me one moment.
What? There's a bear with you?
There is a bear with me.
You should probably get that bear out of there. That's not good, Brick Road. What is their bear doing in Florida? There are no bears in Florida.
Bears in Florida.
There are?
Yeah.
Which of you has the highest passive perception?
Not me.
Not me with disadvantage.
Victor's got a 16.
My owl has a
It's
19.
mine.
What does Edmont have? Because I got a
Oh, that's
Ah, the 12.
11.
Is 16 the
That's
highest?
what I'm-
Yeah, 16's the
16's
highest.
Okay, Victor. During your watch that night, you notice. I mean, you guys are in the woods, and part of the travel throughout the day has been losing and then regaining the path to make sure that you don't leave it and that you're traveling in the correct direction. During your watch, you think you hear far off in the distance, amongst the trees, the chattering language of the frog people. Once similar to how you heard it back at the structure, one shushing the other.
Guess we're gonna wake some people up. Sounds like that's pretty far off.
It's difficult to say. If it was very far off, they would have to be shouting. It sounds like it might be closer than that, though.
So Victor will go wake up Orson and Edmont and Jeannie and Ekon, and he's gonna let Evie sleep.
Evie's sleeping very fitfully because her stomach is empty and cramping. Yeah, and if you guys are very quiet, you listen for several moments. Victor suspects you're being watched by the frog people.
I think we take the initiative on this one. I think we take the fight to them instead of waiting for them to ambush us.
It's good.
Do you think that you can see in the dark?
I have a thing that lets me do that.
No, do you think they can see in the dark?
Chances are,
Probably
if
a
they're
safe
planning
assumption.
an ambush at night, then yeah.
Okay. No point in dousing the fires then. I'll go ahead and cast light on my shield and hand Orson the continual flame chain.
Okay.
Is there any cover anywhere within our camp?
Oh yeah, there are trees surrounding you.
Can we get the non-combatants? We wake everyone else and get everyone up and get the people who aren't going to be fighting behind cover?
Well, the first step would be to find out where the creatures actually are. So somebody's going to have to make me an active perception check to see if they can discern that.
Victor will try that.
Don't forget you have your Sonic Knack die.
Yes, I do. Because them dice don't suck here.
They all suck. It's all the same dice. It's
I
just,
really
it's
do
cloning.
hate that.
So does a 19 fail?
No.
Okay.
They're all
Victor,
they're
you
all
think
clones.
there are either two individuals or two small groups of them. You can't be sure. Because you have to listen very closely. One is just beyond the tree line off to the north side of the road. They're the closer of the two. The second one is off the south side of the road in some dense foliage. So it's either two individual creatures or two small groups. It couldn't be more than that.
So Victor will point that out. Can we... So I know this is going to be really a stupid idea. Victor is going to tell the people, or he's going to attempt to sneak behind the ones that are closest.
What's the range on your telepathy?
It's a mile.
'Cause I
Yeah, I
wanna-
mean, you could
I
tell
wanna
us what's
join you
going on.
that.
Yeah, so Victor will put up a... One thing we haven't tried talking to the frog people. We could try that, or do you just want to kill them?
If they're frog people, I want to kill them, but we were getting pretty close to that wagon by my reckoning, so if it's someone else...
Do you want a turret to go with you?
Sure, at work if you. I can't talk. Unfair.
So Victor, you're sneaking alone towards
So
the closer of the two groups?
Yeah, he's gonna put up a telepathic connection with... Oh, let me see how many people I can do it with.
Okay,
So
so
up to 3 people, so...
you don't want me to sneak up with you?
You can, yeah. You can sneak with me.
Hey, which one of you is this stealthier?
I got a +6 to stealth.
You got me beat up by 1.
Hey, Edmont, go ahead and take enhanced ability dexterity.
Hey.
Do you want a turret to go with you?
Yeah, just to be on the safe side.
So
All
the two
right.
of you are about to skulk away from the camp so you can circle back around the closer of the two groups and try to catch them unawares. Victor, you reach out with your psychic telepathy and you locate one of the creature's brains, and when you begin to speak to it, you hear it call out in that direction. Some strange command, some strange, in its weird frog language. And then it becomes very apparent that both of the groups are fleeing.
They're running. Do we chase them?
What are they running from?
One are they running from?
Possibly.
You. Victor, when you reached out psionically and confirmed that you knew they were there, they gave the command to flee. So the question now is, are you going to chase them off into the woods? And if so, which direction?
They may be going to get reinforcements. We can attempt to take them, or we can let them go. And
I can't chase anything in my condition.
No, probably not the best idea to exert ourselves. Let's just try and pick 1 or 2 off on their way out.
so, would they happen to be? Well, we can't actually see them, can we?
No, they were hidden.
Only one of us that has any chance of catching them is Edmont.
I'm still
No, you're
hungry, I thought.
Nope, you're at 1 level.
Oh.
Do you want to chase them, Edmont? Decide now.
Smart.
Chase or fortify?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick one of them off.
All right, so I guess
If I
Edmont.
pick one of them off, what do you mean?
I'm gonna try and kill one of them as they're running away.
Like, with what?
Boat.
Okay, so you're going to chase after the direction with your bow drawn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, make a to hit roll at disadvantage.
Not bad.
Looking at a 17.
Okay, make a perception check at disadvantage.
It's the same exact roll.
Okay. You hear the creatures move away from you. You signal to your companions that you're going to chase after one of them. You dart beyond the tree line with your bow drawn. You've let loose. That's a movement ahead of you. And you hear one of the creatures cry out. But by the time you get to that position, your bloody arrow is embedded in the ground. Looks like you just grazed him. By the time you reach there,
Okay.
you notice the blood spatter on the ground. You could follow it deeper into the woods, but you no longer hear the creatures around you.
I'm gonna go sneak stealthily as I follow the blood trail.
Okay? Go ahead and give me that check.
Before you get out of range,
Victor is trying to go with them.
Victor doesn't have the movement speed to go with him.
Okay.
Your speed is 30. His is 906.
That's only a 10.
Only a 10?
Yeah,
You did use the enhanced ability?
I did. I rolled dog shit.
Yeah, that's fine. Just make sure.
Yeah.
by the way, you and Victor both had 11 temp hit points. So
So you follow the thing's blood for a few moments. And eventually you just lose the trail. You stand still for a moment and listen carefully. You try to hear in the night, but you no longer hear any calls nor any movement around you.
Double back and then say, I think I lost him. Sorry.
Okay. Let's get some survival checks to see who's eating before our next move.
Put another advantage on that. That's my last enhanced ability.
Okay. So he passes.
20 from Orson.
20 from Orson. And how many rations does Orson
4.
hunt up? 4.
I don't want to jinx anything, but
So you,
and
guys,
that's as far as that thought's going. So I don't jinx anything.
you have 9 total. So 9 people can take a long rest.
Did Denny go with them again?
He did.
Is Denny like legitimately causing problems, like making their checks harder, or just useless?
Who are you asking? Lair, Bleakguard, or Orson?
Lahire. I think he's the one that's going to give me the most straight answer. Actually, probably Orson, because Orson probably is the one who...
Orson complains that Denny is worse than useless.
Okay.
But he doesn't think that he'll listen to anybody if they tell him to try to stay behind.
Yeah.
What about? I think we just ask all of them their
Yeah,
opinions.
just ask each of them individually.
Okay? Bleakguard gives very polite and reserved answers. Like along the lines of, we know that he's doing his best, but he's been under a great deal of pressure and exhaustion, as have we all. So Bleakguard is giving a very measured response, knowing that he's speaking to and about his betters. Lair tells you that he's performing about as well as can be expected, but make an insight check.
Let's know what that does. That's that weird one right there. Okay, that's insight of 4, probably.
Of
No,
4?
6.
6? Okay. Yeah, he tells you that Denny's performing about as best as can be expected.
Okay.
And who's eating today?
So there was 6.
No, 9.
Evie is useless if she does not eat.
Yeah, and I'm also like I am not. No,
So
I'm gonna kill
Ekon,
myself trying. Yeah.
The hunters.
Yeah.
I think we take Denny off hunting duty and no longer count him as a hunter and don't feed him.
Yes.
So don't feed him tonight.
Victor's
Yep.
I think he should be fed tonight, but
Not let him go out. Yep. Okay, let's do it.
How are we going to stop him from going?
Why should he be fed if he failed hunting 2 days in a row? Obviously, feeding.
I mean,
him.
We'll worry about that tomorrow.
Bleakguard also, or I'm sorry, Lair just also failed 2 days in a row.
Yeah, but she has
We'll worry about that.
She actually
tomorrow.
knows that hunt.
So you have 3 more.
Who all has 2 levels of exhaustion?
Nobody has 2.
Oh well, 2 of us do, but we were at
you
3.
have 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 of you have 3. Edmont has 1. Victor has 1. Lugrin, Donique, Abernathy, Platin, and one of your retainers.
At this point, I think who's not eaten
Victor has
the longest.
Chrisen hasn't eaten in 3 days.
Okay.
But he doesn't have any exhaustion?
No, he does.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's good, Kristen.
I think we give Kristen a meal.
I think barring all other things equal, I think it's just who has not eaten in the longest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Victor just ate yesterday, so he's fine skipping.
Well, Trieste hasn't eaten in 2 days, but she's also not exhausted. So she passed the check that her sister failed.
Yeah, so anyone who's exhausted that hasn't eaten the longest.
Okay.
Right. I think like we have like
So,
a
Victor and
a
Edmund.
hierarchy.
Both have a level of exhaustion.
No, Victor shouldn't have exhaustion. He just ate for the second.
That
time.
doesn't cure your exhaustion. It lets you take a long rest, which removes one
It
level.
reduces 1 level of exhaustion. So you went from 2 levels to 1. So you ate yesterday, but you still have a level.
Exhaustion sucks, doesn't it?
No, I thought he was only 1 level exhaustion before that.
No,
you had 2.
Okay.
First
Yeah,
level
exhaustion
is
is really mean.
Yep.
If Edmont and Victor eat today, then nobody else can. Is that the...
Like I think at this point it's just a matter of like letting like the players just have to speak up if they want to eat. Otherwise,
Who's
we're
gonna
killing
eat?
the NPC.
Victor does not want exhaustion.
So Victor
I would like to not have exhaustion, so
Yep.
and Edmont? Okay. So everybody but Jeannie can take the benefits of the long rests.
Hey.
And I will make exhaustion rolls for NPCs. Jeannie, your DC is going to be 10.
Fail.
Okay.
And that puts me up to, is that 1 or 2? That's 1, isn't it? No, that's 2. 2 levels of exhaustion.
I have you at 1.
That puts me at 1, or
That
I
puts
was
you at
at
1.
1. Okay.
Yeah, you were doing okay.
I'm going to cough.
And the next question is, tomorrow, if you want to reach the point where you think you are going to overtake the wagon, Evie and Ekon are going to have to push themselves again like they did yesterday.
But the DC will be easier because we just both ate.
And whatever.
That's a question? Is that correct?
The DC will be 12.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll try.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make those rolls.
I failed.
I failed.
All right.
I didn't want to stop.
So the second day in the row is just a grueling march for the both of you, and at the end of it, you'll be at 3 levels of exhaustion. And who's scouting at this point?
I'll send my familiar because I'm no good at anything.
Okay.
I'm actually going to look at this back on this square we were on specifically for frog people.
Back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me that perception check.
That's +3, and it's that was a 7.
A 7?
You get
Yeah.
advantage.
I did roll advantage. I rolled a 4 and a 1.
No sign of them. And somebody who's scouting this square?
Victor's getting that one.
Victor, your familiar finds a place where a road from the south adjoins the one coming through the woods. And at this juncture, which would be a fork if you're coming from the north, you see a second, actually you see like a wagon train, 6 or 7 of them, and a small group of people. And they seem to be camped out here.
Are they frog people?
No, they're people.
Frog people, not people.
And who else is scouting?
Not according to Air. Here.
It's another road coming up from the south. It looks very similar to the one you're traveling now, cutting through the woods. And what is your familiar?
It's a hawk.
Go ahead and give me a perception check, please.
You got it. Is this site-based?
Yes, it is.
My owl is just watching our group because we know there's frog people skulking around. So the owl's keeping watch at night.
Gotcha.
It's 16.
Okay. And similar to the reports that Jeannie's familiar got previously, you do catch a glimpse or two of the frog people. It looks as though they're keeping pace with your group, but they're sticking to the forest, trying to keep their distance.
I can burn the wood.
Let's
No,
call that Plan B.
You're not.
Or Plan Z, or Plan Omega.
Well, you're not burning anything, 'cause it's still raining. There's been a drizzle falling this whole time. And who tabbed this hex here?
That was me.
The forest thins out in that direction. And what's your familiar?
A hawk.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
+3 at advantage of its site.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep.
19.
19?
Yep.
And again, similar to the report Ekon received, you catch a glimpse or two of the frog people. There's fewer places for them to hide because the foliage is not as thick. But this all but confirms that they're keeping track of you as you're moving along the road. And that
Or being
evening,
corralled.
that evening, you do see the wagon, the one that you had spied a day previous, leaning to one side because one of the wheels is broken off.
Oh no.
Oh no. Indeed.
Let's play this cool. We got to make sure that we're not walking into
A trap.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a heavily bearded man who you can see is doing the repairs. but he's having a difficult go of it. Like I said, the roads are not well maintained. There's not really much in the way of wagon ruts. It looks like it got bogged down in some mud. The wheel torqued the wrong direction and broke halfway apart.
Are we seeing this in person or through the familiars?
In person, as you come up this evening. I mean, your familiars that got sent out that way would have seen them much earlier.
What's his demeanor as we approach? Because we're a large group of people.
Yeah.
We can't approach him stealthily. There's too many of us.
When he notices you, he stands up straight. He's wearing a purple cloak, and he's shifting a pipe from the left side of his mouth to the right. And he calls out to you as he sees you coming up the road, but you don't understand the language that he's speaking.
Victor, this is a you job. None of us can talk to anybody in this entire world, apparently.
Does he seem to be friendly-ish? Like he's not pulling out crossbows or anything?
Doesn't arm. He's not armed. He doesn't pull a weapon on you.
All right, so Victor will walk a little bit ahead of the group, holding his hands up to show that he doesn't have any weapons.
Okay.
And he will call out in the terrible elfish dialect that he speaks first to say, "Hello."
You call out
Why
in
is he not
Elvish.
speaking for Niskin?
I don't think anyone in this world speaks for Niskin.
The man calls back in Elvish, but a very different form of Elvish than you've learned. The ancient, like the language of the ancients that you've learned in your education. Who amongst you speaks Elvish?
I've got 2 free languages,
can.
so I'll cash one of them in.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you have a free language, you
I
can cash
can.
it in.
Yep. I think all of us can. I think all of us took Elvish and Dwarvish.
I don't have it.
Yeah, but I can. I got
I
one.
do have 3 slots, but I don't know if this is where I want to use it.
The man calls back in Elvish. Well met. It's been a long time since I've used the tongue of the Fey folk.
We've found that this is the only thing people can remotely understand. Do you mind if we approach? My family and I. We've been on the road for a while.
By all means. He seems confused. And yeah, as your party approaches, he tells you guys the story about he was hauling his wagon along the road and it got caught in the mud. He's kind of just been waiting for a break in the rain so he can try to repair it.
And
can
so
you
you said
help?
the wheel is broken?
Yes, the wheel is broken. He has the spare parts he needs. It's just he's having a difficult time of it.
So Ekon is going to like just kind of walk up and like, if I may. And Ekon is completely exhausted, so he's incredibly curt about this, and he casts Mending on the wheel.
Cast mending on the wheel.
Yep.
Well, yeah, Ekon, if you want to do it the easy way. Gosh.
The wheel forms back up in its place. And after a few moments, some of the stronger men of your party help the man get the wagon upright again so the wheel can be reaffixed.
And then Ekon collapses into the mud.
It's been we've actually been trying to catch up to you. And we've actually been trying to catch up to you, and if not for this, then we might have had to push for another day we had a heavy march for another day in order to catch up with you.
He seems concerned, and he asks what's wrong with the boy.
They haven't eaten in a while.
We've been in the woods, and we
Game is slim pickings that we've come to discover in these lands.
Evie hasn't collapsed yet, but she doesn't look much better than Ekon.
You came through the mists.
Yes.
there were mists.
There
We
were mists involved, but I don't know that we came through them.
Have you seen these mists?
I will just to explain. And I'll ask him. I'll ask him if he's heard of. I've already forgotten the name of the city.
It was so long ago.
Brennan.
We came from the city, the holy city of Brennan. It was being attacked by invaders. We escaped by boat. We sailed into a fog bank, and then we ended up on a river, and have been harried by frog people ever since.
He nods.
And they killed our cousin.
And at this
And
point, you hear
Yeah.
an old woman's voice from inside the wagon, speaking, again, a language that none of you know. And he leans in, and they have a brief conversation between the two. And the man looks back out at you. Says, I owe you a debt. Are you carrying gold?
Yes, we have some gold. We have, to give everybody, this is not necessarily what I'm telling him, but just to remind everybody, we have like 800 gold.
I think we have more than that.
Does that include the gems?
No, that does not
Yeah, we have
include
like
the gem.
1,500 gold in terms of value.
Well, we have, but like you also spent a large chunk of our actual gold on scribing
Yeah,
components.
I know.
So, yeah,
Gold doesn't keep bellies full, though.
yeah, we have
We
800.
have a little. We have a
We have
little. Yes.
We have 800 gold and 100 platinum.
Victor tells him that we have a little bit of gold. Yes. Why?
I have a little bit of food, and I'm inclined to sell.
That sounds fantastic.
We are hungry.
Does sound like a fair and equitable trade.
He tells you that some of the goods he is carrying are earmarked for McGreer. But
Where's Greer?
what did Victor ask? What was the question?
He says McGreer? Is that a city?
It's a village of sorts.
Are you headed there now?
He shakes his head. Says, I trade with them at the summer and winter solstices only, here at the crossroads. Not at the crossroads, at the fork. The village is far to the north, is my understanding.
Indeed. Well, let us partake of some of your food first, and then perhaps we can talk more.
How much?
How much does a ration go for in the player's handbook?
One day's of ration is 5 silver pieces.
5 silver pieces?
Yes.
He'll sell to you at 3 times that.
How much does he have?
Oh, he's carrying quite a fair amount of goods. Probably 30, 40 days worth, maybe?
40 days worth for our entire group?
Oh, yeah.
So 40 days?
How much?
How much is he willing to part with is the problem.
I mean, he's got salt fish and some exotic fruits and veg, grains.
Well, let's at least buy a full meal for everyone, and then maybe.
I'm
we'll-
inclined to buy as much
Here.
as we can afford.
Well, what's the thing where you walk a ways and then you're there?
Brick Road. How many days does he have exactly? 40?
He has enough
30 or
food in his
40.
cart to keep your party fed for probably a month or more. I mean, he's got barrels of stuff.
Well, we don't have ways to carry. Well, yeah, actually, I do.
How,
I do, actually.
what if we wanted to buy his cart?
To buy the
I don't
cart?
think he'd sell us that. And we don't have a.
What would you do with it?
Not walk.
The cart, the ox, all of the goods. I mean, you said it
Treble.
jokingly, but he says, quote me a price.
Travel is what it's called. How long does it take to travel to that village, or whatever the nearest village is?
Well,
Probably about
let's
a
say
week.
45. Let's say. So the PHP price for a cart is 15 gold pieces.
This is a wagon. This is a cart.
He
It's a wagon with
I-
1 horse, 2 horse.
Yeah,
An
a
ox.
wagon. Well, is it a wagon? It's a wagon. So 35 gold pieces PHB. So if we assume 3 times more than that, it's 100 gold pieces.
The
And then
food is 900 if we were to buy a month's worth.
we don't have enough for that.
Well, he's just a quarter of a price, so.
Well,
Said it was 10 days travel?
I don't think we need the cart.
A little more
That's-
than a week.
yeah, we don't
Okay.
need the. We
Yeah.
don't need the cart. We
We,
need
don't
the.
need the, we need the food. I can carry the food. I have a bag of holding.
210 if to buy a week's worth of food for 20 people at that rate.
That sounds pretty good.
That's.
I mean, I would plan to buy at least a little bit more because this is the first chance we've had to just you have food now, and all you
Yeah,
do
but
is trade some money.
we could also still keep hunting.
We can,
agreed to stretch it out,
and we should.
but it will make going a lot easier. I feel.
So you make him the offer of how much?
210 for 7 times 20 rations. 140
210 silver.
gold. That's what he asked for. The 3 times the PHP price.
Okay.
Well, how much? What's conversion from silver to gold?
10-1.
It's metric.
Okay.
Basically, it's 2 rations.
When you
for
quote
one
him
gold, normally.
215 gold pieces, he laughs. He asks, "Are you carrying that much?"
I mean, I'll open my reach into my bag and pull out a bag of 2 bags of 100 gold pieces.
Out of curiosity, if you don't mind my asking, how much do you have?
Do not answer that question.
Unfortunately, we do mind answering that question. But we would be happy to give you this amount for food as well as if you allow us to travel. Where are you headed? Perhaps we could travel together.
He's traveling another day or so. We'll take him to the Fork and the summer solstice, and there he will trade with McGreer's folk. And then
There's
he will
gonna
head
be
back to the
people.
west.
Where did he come from in the west?
You came here through the mists, yes?
I assume so.
So did I. But I came by a different road.
Can you get out of this place?
I can.
Can we get out of this place?
He seems to consider for a moment. How much gold did you say you had?
Genie, no.
A little more than this. But this is a large portion of it.
It takes a great deal of skill and knowledge to travel safely through the mists. My people happen to make magical trinkets that can enable you to navigate them safely. Whether they take you back the road you came, back to where you came from, none can say. You have a large party, but I'm willing to negotiate.
And what would your initial offer be?
Can we talk about this after we've eaten? Some of that salted fish sounds really good.
He nods, and he takes your 215 gold.
Yeah, I'll subtract that.
And yeah, he unloads as much food as you all are going to carry, and you start shoving it in your bag of holding.
No.
How many of the NPCs actually have packs?
Several of them. Because remember, Abernathy's boat was packed to
Oh, okay.
leave across the lake, so... It's...
I mean, yeah, well, okay, Ekon's mostly going to be eating, but he'll instruct Orson to distribute 7 rations worth and make sure everyone has a good meal tonight.
Okay. So what do you say to the offer of magical trinkets that will help you navigate the mists?
I'd like to know more about them as well as how much he's offering them for.
He tells you that the price depends on the traveler and the weariness of the traveler. Now, to my eyes, you all seem weary indeed.